Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your travel god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a late Friday night video. Right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. So do it now. Subscribe to my channels, all down below in the gobbledygook. You can leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos on my respective channels from the past, now, or in the future, Conan. But don't leave stupid comments. You get sent to the Shadow Realm. Satan and Ozzy will beat you severely and then eat your soul. So don't do it. You want to go do it? Do it somewhere else. Because you ain't going to do it on mine. You don't like it? Tough shit. That's that. So subscribe to my channels. Comment on my videos. But don't leave stupid comments because you're not going to be here anymore. You're going to go bye-bye. Bye-bye. You go bye-bye, pretty much. That's that. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell so not all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, you're SOL. You know what that means. If you don't know what it means, that sucks for you. If you don't want to know what SOL means, you're pretty much SOL at knowing what it means. That's pretty much it. So if you don't know what it means, you know, you're messed up. But anyway. Well, please hit that bell so you don't become SOL and you know what that means. That's that. And for our newbies out there, if you're here for the first time, well, and you're thinking about subscribing, please do. And when you do, as we say in the business, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, you relax, grab that nice, tasty, cold one. As always, soda. You can't tell it's a mixed drink. I think you need your eyes checked. But that's just my opinion. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, put your feet up, grab yourself a nice, tasty, cold one, put your stinky feet up, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, well, fuck you, man. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, first weekend of February is upon us. Got a little bit of a snow shower, snow squall earlier this evening. A little bit of flurries are happening right now. I haven't really checked. But not really a nothing storm. It was this saying a coating to an inch, basically nothing. But some slick roads on the slick roads here in New York City and in my neck of the woods. So just be careful if you're going to the club tonight or coming back from the club or you're going out tomorrow. Just tomorrow morning and pretty much tomorrow and the whole weekend. Just be safe, be well. Throw some snow melt out, throw a little snow melt out before you head out, and then that's it. Enjoy the weekend because it's Super Bowl weekend! And Super Bowl is coming your way Sunday night on that great station of Fox. And next year, actually, no, take it back, it's on NBC. Next year, it'll be on ABC. So ABC's finally getting a Super Bowl after God knows how many years. And we'll see what happens with that. And don't forget, the great man that he is, Bad Bunny, will be the halftime show. It'll probably be the show, but best thing coming out of that Super Bowl. But, you know, we'll see what happens with the Seahawks and the New England Patriots this Sunday at about 6:30. I think it's kickoff's around 6:30, 6:45, somewhere around that area on NBC. And we'll see who wins the Super Bowl. Super Bowl XL. Or LX, LX, not XL. LX. For you people that are dumb and don't know your Roman numerals, that's 60. And it's going to be emanating from where the 49ers play, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. So we're at that. So, hopefully you enjoy your weekend. Have a great Super Bowl party, wherever you may be, at a bar, your house, friend's house, wherever you're going to be watching the Super Bowl. Just have fun and wait till the halftime show. And that's pretty much it. That's that. But I hope you had a great day. I had a pretty decent day, and I'm just getting ready for the weekend. And that's that. Alright, on your late Friday night, February the 6th, 2026, so 2626. But if you're watching at a different time, it is now February the 7th, 2026. And pretty soon we'll be hitting that midpoint. Next week is Lover's Day, if you know what I mean. But, don't really give two fucks about Valentine's Day, even though I already got my woman a gift. So we're gonna be having a nice dinner and then getting the business done, you know what I mean? But that's another story for a long time. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, on your Friday night or early Saturday, wherever you may be, it is time on the Kill Demons channel. Once again, I am your gracious host, Peter Joseph. I am a content creator talking about the wonderful world of professional wrestling, the sport of professional wrestling. By the way, if you didn't see my short on my Peter Joseph channel, you don't know. You get a receipt, because not only did I prove that on my old Shadow Slayer channel, I also proved it a second time. Shane Douglas with a short with Shane Douglas saying the sport of professional wrestling, and today, so the fourth time I proved that wrestling is a sport, as I put the late great Jay Risco, you said it yourself, that pro wrestling is a sport. By the way, reach for the sky, boy. We got that. So check it out on my Peter Joseph channel, and I put some shorts up on my rant channel, PG Rants. So check those out on time, on cue. Links are down below in the description box. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, after 7 minutes of spiel, it's late. It is what it is. I can't get the words out of my mouth. Man, nobody understands the words that are coming out of your mouth. Anyway, so as I said before, on your late Friday night or early Saturday morning, it is time for your late, pretty much not getting close to late, but it is your late night WWE Smackdown or Weltdown review. Alright, from earlier tonight, February the 6th, 2026, the Smackdown fallout from the Royal Rumble, as we're now on the road to the Elimination Chamber, coming up in 3 weeks from the recording of this video. So 3 weeks from tomorrow, February the 28th, from Chicago, Illinois. Alright, got a couple of elimination chamber qualifying matches for the men and women. We're going to have more on Monday and more next week. But next 2 weeks of SmackDown are going to be on Sci-Fi, because USA Network is going to be showing the Garbage Olympics. No, not the Garbage Olympics, I'm saying the Olympic Games from a great fucking country and a great city of Milan, Italy. As you know, Italians do it better. Just remember that. And that's all I got to say about that. Alright, so SmackDown earlier tonight, not bad. Not that bad, but we were all over the place with this episode. And that's that. And we are emanating from the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina! Pretty much. Kenny's, I guess, hometown. Even though I think he moved back to Florida. Why'd you move from Charlotte back down to Florida? That's... Maybe we was tired of those hurricanes. I don't know. You're in Hurricane Valley anyway in Florida, so... Depending on where in Florida. But still, you're in the path of hurricanes half the time, but it is what it is. But anyway, North Kakalaki for SmackDown earlier tonight. And our commentary team, well, the man is back after a long little vacation, and that's Joe Tessitore, and as always, on color commentary, the man from England, I think he's from Scotland. No, he's from England. I'm just saying. He's the man. You know him, you love him, you can't get enough of him. Bad news, Wade Barrett. And John for Flair got some bad news for you. That's pretty much it. Alright. Let's get into this shindig, because I'm tired. Alright, so we start the show off with a long-as-fuck recap of the Royal Rumble with our men's and women's winners. We had Liv Morgan, for the women, and, put your ones up, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, once again, becomes a two-time Royal Rumble winner, and now he, as we saw on Monday, he will face that piece of garbage from Chicago, Phil Brooks, otherwise known as CM Punk, for the Raw World title on Night 2 in the main event, Night 2, April the 19th, 2026. Alright, so we got that. We had, sadly, AJ Styles getting retired by the career killer himself, Walter. And we had Rio, Mommy Rhea Ripley, and Io retain the women's tag team titles over Liv. No, wait, take that back. Well, we had the men's and women's match. Drew McIntyre retained the Smackdown Unified title against Sami Zayn, the home country boy. We had that. But we move on. Speaking of Drew McIntyre, Papucho, he comes out to get things going. But then Cody, that bitch Cody, comes out. He's mad, jumps him on the way to the ring. Security, Nick Aldis and company had to come break this shit up. It took him a while, but he finally got him apart. And then Cody goes to the ring to cut a missionary-style promo. But it's actually a little bit funny. So I have to give Cody some credit on this one. So anyway, Cody says, I can't fairly point to the sign. And you're pointing the wrong way, by the way. So, he says, when people talk about WrestleMania, my name is the first they say because they know what that means to him. He was born in this city with pizza boxes everywhere. You homeless bum. And Arn Anderson, an Arn Anderson reference, he's got a clock! Anyway. And Manny Fernandez, the legend, fighting in the waiting room. Then he mentions that Drew was jealous that Cody got the title instead of him. And now Drew isn't going to be champion all the way to WrestleMania. Blah, blah, blah. And then he mentions Punk and Roman from Monday. And basically says that, oh, we know what that means. Is going to be a you-know-what measuring contest. Not that you know anything about that, Cody. But then he says, he says, they don't call me Raheem for nothing, so Charlotte, let's talk about it. I'm like, what are you talking about, Raheem? I mean, we're going to coming to America here? What we? I know it's Black History Month, but I mean, Raheem? I don't know, Cody. I'm like, what? It was funny, but I mean, you're saying Raheem and putting that in the same sentence with BDE. I don't know. I don't think Brandy might, have something to say about that. I don't think you have any BDE in your balls, dude. I thought you used to be dashing. And now you're just talking like a bitch. Alright, just to hype up Black History Month, Raheem. Okay. So, Raheem Rhodes. Okay. So, we'll see what happens with that, but he has a qualifying match coming up next week. With Jacob and Sami Zayn. So we get that. Alright, so Cody's little beatdown promo. I gave 3 out of 5 stars, and that's that. And we're off for running on Smackdown. Then we go to the back with the lovely Kathy Kelly. She's with the #1 contenders to the women's tag team titles, and as the women's United States champion, the lovely Julia, and the resident accountant, Kiana James, and they're ready to win the belts. Coming up a little bit later on in the program, coming up next, I should say. So we got that, 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, we go to the back. Nicholas Aldis runs into Cody after what happened in the first segment. He tells Cody to, settle down, Cody. Take it easy. Why are you so crazy? Take it easy. Take it easy. Cody's like, I'm not gonna calm down. Well, Nick's like, well, you need to cool it. Get out of my freaking arena, or you're gonna be out of your Elimination Chamber qualifying match next week. So Cody's like, alright, I'll see you in Dallas next week. Because I guess we're in Dallas next week. Hey, we go from Charlotte all the way to freaking Dallas next week. That's a long trip. Well, we gotta go into the Midwest because we gotta hit Texas, and then we gotta go up a little bit to Chicago. And then we're on that road to back east with you got a New York show for NXT, Roadblock. And, NXT's gonna be, where's Vengeance Day? I forget what that is. But we're gonna be around the East Coast area for March. And then we're gonna go on the West Coast back to Vegas for WrestleMania. And that's that. Alright, so Cody is like a little bit pissed off, and he says, I'll see you in Dallas next week. So he gone. Bye-bye, Cody. Go back to your bus and drink some Wheatley. So good it brings back Beastie. Stuff like that. That garbage freaking, vodka. I never tasted it, and I don't want to. I'd rather have a nice cold glass of Pepsi, and if I did have some alcohol in this, it would be either Hennessy or Jack. But, as always, nothing's in here. You can't tell. Get your eyes checked, fuckers. And that's that. Alright. Alright, so I gave that Cody promo 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then, back to the ring we go with the women's tag team titles on the line. Julia and Kiana James taking on The Name is Rio, and they dance upon my lap. And when they're done, they go and take a nap. Pretty much. Alright, so we had Mommy Rhea Ripley, Black Brutality, and Io Sky, my third amazingly hot Asian wife. Alright, so we start off with Mommy and Kiana James with a basic lockup, and then Kiana kind of backs into the corner. Julia comes in, and her and Mommy have a little bit of a shoving match, and then Julia's like, I want Io. So Io's like, okay, tag me. Tag in the Io. They go at it. I'm like, oh, I want this one-on-one so bad. Because I think they fought in Stardom, I believe. I gotta look that up. But, man, if they never went one-on-one before, they should. I mean, we saw that at the Royal Rumble when Asuka, Io, and Julia were, like, around each other. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy, 2/3 of the freaking Black Lotus tribe going after Julia. Shit. I was like, where's Katie? All this. Alright. So Julia forms Io right in the face, and she mocks Io's dancey. And Kiana James gets a cheap shot from the apron. So they start beating down Io for a little bit. As we go to break, we come back. The heels are still in control. Kiana hits a running shoulder to the ribs. Ow. In the corner. Goes for a charge. Missed. Then Io gets the hot tag to Mommy Rhea Ripley to clean house, including a nice big kick to Kiana's dome. And then an electric chair face plant gets a near fall, but Kiana knocks Mommy down. And then a power bomb sends Io onto Rhea Ripley. Ow. And then Kiana with a 401k. I thought we were going to get new champs, but I think, Mommy Rhea Ripley made the save at 2. We get that. And then Kiana James gets knocked to the outside. And then, poor Julia, why did she take the pin? She gets hit with Riptide into the over the salt. 1, 2, 3. Mommy Rhea Ripley and Io retain the titles in little smidge over 11 minutes to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. I don't understand why Kiana couldn't come in and take the pin there. I don't get it. Why is Julia taking a pin? Are we going back to this same shit, Hunter, where Julia wins the belt again, gets a little mini push, and then back down the drain? Dude. I think we're going to that again. And if I was Julia, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? Send me back down to NXT or get me out of here. I'll go back to Japan. I'll go back to Stardom. Or maybe I'll go to AEW where everybody's going now these days. Shit. And AEW's ratings have been going up. I mean, a week ago, they went up a lot. Like 150, I think it was 155,000 views they went up. So 653,000 views. And then this week they went up a smidge. They went up 1,000 views to 654. And even Collision went up a lot from the week before. They had like over 400,000 views for Collision. Collision, mind you. And we see what happens this week on Collision, even though it's taped. And then next week is Grand Slam, Australia, which is tape delay. But, man, AEW so far in 2026, doing some pretty good shit. And WWE and NXT, not so good, Al. And TNA, on AMC, the first 4 episodes, not a good start. I mean, last week did smidge over 200,000. And the new rating hasn't come out yet. But we got that. But let's see what happens as we continue on through 2026. But right now, the early winner of promotion of the year is AEW. So AEW is getting its act together. Tony Khan's not snorting the cocaine as much as he does. I will never do cocaine ever again. Please watch my show on Wednesday night. And don't forget, Collision, this Saturday night is going to be a great show, guys. And I will never blink. Yeah, Tony Khan, you need to, lighten the stash, okay? Do it after the show. Don't do it during the show. Do it after the show. That way, when you have Dynamite and Collision already taped, you go home, back down to Jacksonville, and you snort a big old bag of cocaine. And then you're fine. Take a couple days off to kind of get off the high, and then you start working on the next Dynamite. And Collision, too. And then you worry about the pay-per-views. And Ring of Honor. Get that going, If he could get Ring of Honor TV to be good, I would take everything back about Ring of Honor. Right now, it's pretty much a horror fest. Shit. There's a couple of good matches here and there, but still, a TV show is like a horror movie. And not a good horror movie either. Then again, we move on. Alright, so Rio gets the win to retain the women's tag team titles. Match was pretty decent. 3 out of 5 stars. And that's that. Alright, go to back with The Miz, or The Jizz, and the Zah! Ilya Dragunov, they're arguing over who should get the next US title shot. That the champ Carmelo Hayes, him, who, speaking of, he comes in and says that Ilya Dragunov gets the title shot at some point, but not tonight, because Miz is getting a beatdown, even though it was a non-title match. Alright, so I gave the segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. We get to the match, which wasn't really that great, wasn't anything to write home about, but 9.5 minute match. Miz jumps Melo to start, and Melo has to fight back against the ropes. A springboard is cut off, and Miz mocks the bowling basketball pose, you bitch. We don't do that here. We don't mock MVP, and 2, we don't mock Rick Ross. Or whoever's successful. But, it's a great song. Nola, you know this. Ballin'! Or, if you're from Brooklyn, Brooklyn! If you go to the club in Brooklyn, or in New York, too. They play the remix version. They play Brooklyn! As we all know, Brooklyn's a better city than your city. Oh, you live in the armpit of Brooklyn! I live in a good neighborhood, so kiss my ass. You probably live in a dump in some shithole in America. Well, who cares? Anyway, moving on. So he mocks the pose, we go to break, we come right back, Carmelo fights out of trouble, hits La Mística. Somebody's been watching Sin Cara tapes, gets in their fall. Miz goes to the outside, gets taken down by a flippy yippity-doo. But then Melo goes for the Eddie Guerrero frog splash, and, Miz scouted that. And did you notice, when Melo went up, Miz had his knees up right before Melo jumped? Because he didn't do it as clean as me anyway! I know, Eddie. Because when I do it, nobody gets their knees up. Well, sometimes they do. Shut up! Okay. Sorry. You have fun there, Eddie. Go ahead. Anyway, moving on. So he hits the raised knees on the frog splash attempt. Miz goes to a skull-crushing finale, gets counted into a super kick for a near fall, but Miz's slingshot sit-out powerbomb, nice, gets a near fall of his own. Throws up another skull-crushing finale. I don't know how Melo reversed it. It was impressive. Miz kind of hit it, and then Melo rolled through it, he kind of rolled on his head. And he gets up, hits the first 48, 1, 2, 3, and an impressive win for Melo. And he's rolling right now as the United States champion. Now we'll see what happens with that. Ilya's going to get a shot. When? Maybe next week. Maybe at the Elimination Chamber. I don't know. But we got that. Alright, so the match I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, we go to back with Kathy Kelly once again, and it's Tiffy time! Daddy! Yes. What? It's late. What? Did you see me on TV? Yes, you look great. You look great at the Rumble, too. Ah, Daddy, I missed you. Wait a minute, you were here. Yeah, but I was in Saudi Arabia. Oh, right, I forgot. Sorry. Daddy's old. Ah, Daddy, you need to chill. Can I have your credit card? Here you go. Daddy, thank you. Anyway, Tiffany Stratton, Daddy's favorite girl. She's back on Smackdown and ready to qualify for the Elimination Chamber against Chelsea Green, Madam President. And legislation. Get shit done. But, so Tiffy's in the back getting ready. Chelsea Green, Madam President, and Abba Fire. They come in and interrupt. Chelsea says she's the news around here. What kind of news? Don't answer that. Tiffy says Chelsea would only be in the obituary section after she gets done with her. You do know, Tiffy, you have to pin her before you kick her ass, okay? Just want to point that out. Anyway, so 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. And we'll see what happens in the triple threat match coming up right after this. Alright, then we get a video from Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, who's not okay with Solo Miwuki stealing the lantern, and basically says that him and the family are going to get that lantern back. So we have that, and Solo's going to be in a qualifying match at the end of the show against Randy Orton and his monotonous voice. And I forgot who's in the main event. Yeah, I have to look at my notes. It was Mr. Aleister Black. So we'll get that. Yeah, we move on with that. Alright, so we get to the match. After that, I gave that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we go back to the ring with Lash Legend, Tiffy Stratton, and Chelsea Green, looking to be the first woman in the Women's Elimination Chamber match. So we had Nia, Jax, and Alba Fire at ringside. Pretty decent match for about 10.5 minutes exactly. So with Chelsea Green getting beaten up by both the ladies, and then it goes. We have a fight between Lash and Tiffy Tiff. Tiffy gets the better of that, and Chelsea steals the pin for a near fall, earning herself a big old beatdown from both ladies. Chelsea goes up top, dives on to Tiffy and Nia, but gets kicked down by Lash Legend as we're going to break. Big kick to the face on the floor. Come back, Tiffy and Chelsea accidentally work together. Oops. To send Lash into the corner. Lash then is knocked to the outside, leaving Tiffy to fight out of the unpretty her. And a superplex gets a near fall on Chelsea Green as Tiffy made the save. So Lash hit that. Then Lash goes for the Lash extension that gets broken up. Chelsea hits coast to coast. Impressive. For a near fall. Lash is then knocked to the outside. And Tiffy knocks Chelsea down. And sets up the prettiest moonsault ever. 1, 2, 3 in exactly 10.5 minutes. Tiffany Stratton is the first woman in the chamber match. Next week, we got Lexi. Shoot, I thought I wrote it down. I know Lexi's in it. I forgot. I know Lexi's in the one qualifying match. I forgot who else is in it for next week. So, we got that. So, more qualifying matches next week. We got that. But this match was pretty decent. 3 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, then we hear from Randy Orton and his voice! Talks about how he's going to win the main event against Aleister Black and Solo. Move on to his 10th Elimination Chamber, which gives him the most experience. I don't think he's ever won one yet. But anyway, and then Aleister Black and his lovely wife, Zelina Vega. Yes. They come in, they're not convinced. And maybe because Orton has been in 9 of them and only won once. So he has won once. I forgot what year that was. But anyway. So, Randy is 1 for 8, really. Think about it. He's 1 and 8 in Elimination Chamber matches. So, let's see if he can qualify. Maybe make that 2 and 8. And we'll see what happens with that. Moving on. Alright, so I gave that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we're going to look at NXT stars past and present in the Royal Rumbles. Okay, we got that for the 3rd week in a row. Just not the hyped NXT, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so we get that. Alright, after that, we get to one of my favorite parts of the show, besides seeing EO. We have the man who thinks everything is toxic, and that's Kid Wilson! So he comes out, chitty chat, and he says, I was disgusted by the sweating and grunting at the Royal Rumble, as the toxic masculinity was just awful. They can't handle a man who moisturizes and listens. who can move his hips like this, and he's gyrating. I'm not gonna do it, obviously, but unless for you ladies, you get that for free. So he gyrates his hips, and he says, anyone who is in the Rumble could come out here and tell me differently. And I'm like, no, kid, why did you open your mouth? Why? I'm like, why did you open your mouth? Why? And who should come out but, oh boy, this guy comes out. Garuda! Who? The Destroyer! Who? The Bringer of War! Who? You know him, you love him, you can't get enough of him, the Nigerian wrecking machine himself. He's not a prince, but he's a wrecking machine, and that's Oba! Who? Femi, the man from Wakanda. So anyway, Oba comes out, whips his ass in 48 seconds. Good night, Kit Wilson. Give him an F. Jeez. I mean, not an F grade. I mean, F in the chat for, F in the comments for Kit Wilson. 48 seconds wins with fall from grace. So Oba came, saw, conquered, good night. Get my money and get out of here. I got to go to a big dinner at Denny's. No. Sorry. No, Oba doesn't eat at Denny's. He eats at fancy restaurants that you know of. He's at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. That's where he eats. He eats a big, juicy steak. Doesn't eat that shit from Denny's. He doesn't need to get the Grand Slam breakfast. Like Cody does, bitch. Not that anything's bad about Denny's, but, I'd rather go to IHOP. IHOP's a little bit better. I think it's a little bit better pricing than Denny's. Denny's is like, you can get pancakes for like, at the Grand Slam breakfast, I think you can get it for as low, about $5-6. That's not bad. I think IHOP has. I think IHOP had a blue plate special for like $3. Sometimes they run specials. 48-cent pancakes usually in the beginning of the year. Around this time, I think. So yeah, when it's National Pancake Day, I think, or when they run that promotion, I'm going to get some pancakes. Shit, get some pancakes and some pink sausage, picnic sausage, and some bacon, baby. Bacon, baby. We're gonna have a Dusty Road style breakfast with a big glass of OJ. Or AJ. Apple juice, orange juice. Maybe I have a glass of soda. I don't know. Nah, I usually don't drink soda when I get breakfast or lunch at IHOP. I usually have a nice big glass of OJ or AJ. Rarely I do have like a burger or chicken tenders at IHOP. Rarely, but usually I just go for the pancakes or some eggs. Eggs, bacon. Eggs, bacon, and sausage, and a nice big stack of buttermilk pancakes. You gotta love it. And Rose will get a nice stack, too. She gets her coffee, because she drinks coffee. They have to make a fresh pot. I have to tell them, say, can you make a fresh pot of coffee for the woman, please? She has to get her coffee in every so often. Speaking of coffee, please buy Prince Nana's coffee. It's amazing. A man makes some pretty damn good coffee. Not from the hills of Colombia. Do you like coffee from the hills of Colombia? Duncan Hines commercial from Death Clock. Oh, that's a classic. And if you don't like Death Clock, fuck you. Hey, pretty much if you don't like metal, fuck you. Go listen to your garbage mumble rap. That sucks dick. Oh, by the way, who's number one in the Billboard charts? Oh, that's right, Megadeth. Just saying. Metal is back at number 1 on the Billboard 200 charts. Even though Megadeth's final album, but still. Megadeth number 1 album. Who knew? What do you think about that, Dave? Well, I think it's great, having a great album, I'm gonna keep talking to myself, Hello, me dog, shut up, Dave. Just accept you got the fucking number 1 record now. Fuck you, Taylor Swift. Ha ha, bitches. Ha! And take that, UK fucking mumble rappers. You will never get a number 1 record on the top 100. Fuck you. Sit and rotate on Metal's dick. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, so Oba destroys Kit Wilson, and, that sucks to be you, Kit Wilson, that's that. Alright, so, sadly, I had to give, it's Oba, I'm sorry, Oba, but I have to give it 2 out of 5 stars. What's that? Alright, moving on. Alright, go to back, where we see our Fool, and Poppy Priest. They're very impressed with Oba, with Oba. And Truth mentions that, Oba, you didn't have a good night there, Damien, because, Oba eliminated you. And, Poppy's like, I don't want to hear it. Because he got eliminated, he knew it. And then, out of nowhere, Papucho, Drew McIntyre, comes in, and he bumps into Truth. Truth's like, hey, what the fuck, man? And then Truth just, stares Truth down, and Truth's like a little bitch, leaves. And then Papucho comes up to, Poppy comes up to him, says, hey, we've been down this road before, I don't think we need to do it again. And Truth just stares at him and leaves. Goes right back to the ring. Alright, so we got 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, so let's run it back to the first segment of the night. Drew comes out to do his promo again, but this time he gets beat down by Jacob Fatu. All gas, no brakes. Jacob Fatu jumps him from behind and knocks him over the barricade, and Drew has to pick up his belt and run away again. So Drew's trying to get a word in edgewise, and Cody and Jacob are like, fuck you, dude. Alright, so 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Go to break, come back. Nick Aldis now tells Jacob Fatu the same thing that he told Cody, get out of here, cool off, or your Elimination Chamber qualifying match will be out the door as well. So he says, cool down, get out of here, wait till next week. Jacob's like, okay. So he gone. So hit and run by Jacob and Cody. I think when you don't know where you're going with this, one of them's gonna win the chamber. I hope it's Jacob, not Cody. But knowing WWE, to give it to Cody, and somehow Jacob's gonna get into it. It would be something with Cody and Jacob are the final 2 guys in the chamber, and they have a double pin. That's how I guess that's probably gonna be how we get the triple threat. It might be a double pin, or Cody wins, and then Jacob just continues to beat down Papucho, and Nick Aldis can't take it anymore. He's like, alright, you're in 2. And then Drew's like, fuck! I think Jacob might win the title at Mania. I have a feeling. I do not want Cody again with that fucking Undisputed title. Like, Jacob win, or even have Papucho beat him and, beat both of them, and it'd be a great win for him. But I'm thinking they may give it to Jacob. I really don't want to give it to Cody again for the 3rd time. Wait, the 4th time. Because he won it from Roman, lost. Who did he lose it to? I think he lost to the... shit. I know he lost it to Cena. Well, he beat Roman. I think he lost to Brock. I think it was Brock. Then he got it back somehow from Cena. And then, he lost to Cena, got it right back. So that's 3 times. Now he's going for a 4th title, most likely. And I don't think he will win it. I don't want them to win it because then it's going to be boring. Give it to somebody like Oba, or give it to somebody like Trick Willie. I think Trick Willie should be the next guy to beat whoever the champion is. Would be Jacob or whatever. And what do I say? Trick? Stay tuned. We got that. Alright, so I gave that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, back to the ringside we go with our next match. This felt like a New Japan classic. Shinsuke Nakamura takes on a good friend of his from the MFTs, the Gremlin himself, Tama Tonga. Yeah! Do not feed him after midnight. That guy goes nuts. Alright, so at the time, we had the MFTs with Tama. We had Tonga Loa, Sayonara Saka, JC Mateo. Solo was getting ready, for his match. And we had the big man, Kudio, or Tama Tonga. Alright, so at ringside, Shinsuke is pretty much outnumbered. Alright, so Shinsuke strikes away in the corner to start Fast and Furious, but they go to the outside, where Tama Tonga takes over, knocks Shinsuke over the onto the announcer's table. Hits an elbow drop, and the table did not break. I am the table. We go to break, come right back. Usually during the break, the faces come back, but Shinsuke comes back, kicks away, hits a middle rope knee to the steps. Ow! For a near fall. And then, Tama grabs a lifting sit-out pedigree. Impressive. For a near fall. Shinsuke flips out of a dragon sleeper. Hits a jumping DDT. Actually, Tama hits a jumping DDT on Shinsuke, who pops right back up with a knockdown of his own. Then they trade forearms. Shinsuke wins that with a spinning kick to face. Then he hits that sliding German suplex called the landslide. He gets an info out of that. But then Tonga Loa grabs Shinsuke's foot to pick up the Kinshasa. And sadly, after that, Tama Tonga hits the cutthroat or the spirit gun. 1, 2, 3. Damn it. Tama Tonga gets the win over Shinsuke. I don't understand why Shinsuke's taking pins when he's a guy that should be in a main event. I really think Shinsuke's on his way out, going back to New Japan. It's not that many people left in New Japan. Not anybody, big time guys. I mean, still got Zack Sabre Jr. there. Pretty much Los Ingobernables de Japón, all of them are gone. Because Hiromu Takahashi's leaving New Japan. Wonder where he's going. Maybe WWE. I think he might be going to AEW because already have Clark Connors and Clark Connors just went over to AEW. Gabe Kidd's pretty much kind of back and forth with AEW, New Japan World. And that's that. And one of my notes just spontaneously disappear. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, Shinsuke took another fucking loss. And, that's pretty much it. And, we move on with all that. There we go. Back. Alright, so, Shinsuke, I really think Shinsuke should just go back to Japan, retire. Evil's coming to WWE pretty soon. Maybe do something with, they were talking about a faction with Tama Tonga and Shinsuke. Or maybe just have Shinsuke, he's like, alright, I'm bringing all my buddies from New Japan over, like Evil, maybe I doubt Naito, because I heard Naito was gonna start with AEW. Who knows with that? Bushi. I don't know what's going on with Bushi. I don't know if he's coming to WWE or going to AEW. I don't know what's going on with Bushi. Hiromu Takahashi. Don't know. And pretty much, Shingo, I think, is left. That's it. I think Shingo's still in, New Japan. So, the OG version and at the time, the new version of Los Ingobernables de Japón, pretty much gone. I know Naito came back at Pro Wrestling Noah, so see what happens with Mr. Naito! And that's that, and the rest of Los Ingobernables de Japón! That's that. Alright, like I said, match-wise, 2.5 out of 5 stars, but why is Shinsuke taking pins? Why? He's a big-time star, and I just don't get it. Hunter, do you have a thing that you don't like Shinsuke? Or the creative team doesn't like Shinsuke, or you're just gonna, wait till his contract is up, which I think is probably this year? Don't make him face Walter, please. And have Walter retire him so he has to go, Just let him go. Just let him end his contract and just, if I'm Shinsuke, I want to go back to Japan. Fuck this. His time in WWE, I think it's coming to an end. And what's good is he's cutting great promos now. He's on a great, it seems like he's, getting back to his New Japan days. And then Hunter's like, oh, fuck this. Gets the golden shovel out. Shinsuke, hits Shinsuke with the golden shovel, and that's why Shinsuke's been losing every fucking week. Or every so often. I'm like, why? Come on, Hunter. For a guy that was a former Intercontinental Champion, a former Tag Team Champion, and former 2-time NXT Champion. What happened? They have nothing for creative, so he's out like 6 months, surfing in California, going back and forth, maybe going to see family in New Japan, and then you give him a call. Hey, Shinsuke, we need you on Smackdown. And then they give him the Road Ninja little thing when he was a heel. Great theme, great look with the look like a samurai almost. But even that, when they gave him the U.S. title, and then he loses it right back to Eli Drake, which made no fucking sense. He wins it and loses it right back. Didn't even have a proper run with it. Fucking shit. See, I mentioned this on videos before. That WWE just does not like Asians. Unless your name is Io or Asuka, and maybe Kairi. Everybody else has come from Japan or China. Bye-bye. Pretty much. Yeah, they did some great things early on with Shinsuke, but what have you done for me lately? Nothing. Put him in catering almost. Put him in limbo. Xia Li, where did she go? TNA, she's the champ now. Laughing at you, Hunter. Saray in New Japan doing some good shit. Who else? Wendy Choo Choo is pretty much an Evolve. Thankfully not as Pajama Woman anymore. She's actually her normal Wendy Choo Choo. Or Karen Q, basically. Who knows what's going to happen with her on Evolve. Boa. Did a whole thing with him and Tianxia with Xia Li and Wendy Chu, who's Mei Ying. They fucked Tianxia up. I thought it was going to be a great stable, or faction at least. Fucked that up. Xia Li goes to the main roster, does nothing, gets put in catering, bye-bye to you. Boa leaves, they bring him back, or actually, I don't know, he didn't kind of leave, he just we didn't see him for a while. Then we see him on random NXT episodes talking to Dante Chen, another guy from China. Didn't use him, he's getting, you rarely see him. I think he got injured, or I don't know what's going on with him now. They just do not like Oriental people. I don't get it, but if your name is not Asuka, Kairi, or Io, you're gonna get treated like shit. And Julia's from Japan too. I might be missing one or two here and there, but you know, look at Julia. She comes in, does great in NXT, and then gets shot up to the main roster. Didn't do much. And then she wins the US title from Chelsea Green. Lost it back to Chelsea Green. And then won it back. And, she won it, lost it, won it back for the second time. And I thought the second time around was going to be great. No. And then she takes a pin tonight? Why? I don't get it at all. I just don't get it. So, if you're coming over from Japan, I highly suggest you go to AEW, because then Tony Khan can work with you. Just do not come over to WWE. So, I'm really nervous about Evo coming in. And, we'll see what happens with Tony Khan, and, he's done some good stuff with Takeshita, with Okada. Okada's a legend, obviously. And all the other people that come and go with the partnership and everything, like Hiromu Takahashi, Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, people like that. So hey, anybody in Stardom or in Joshi, you want to come to the States? Go to AEW. Go call Tony Khan. Don't call Hunter, or don't call Dwayne, or Nick. God, man. Because you're going to get ruined after a little while. After 3 to 6 months, you start off with some good heat, and then next thing you know, you're in catering, and then after that, spring cleaning, release, goodbye. We'll see what happens with that. I'm worried about Hobbs now. Royce Keys. They're going to probably put him on Smackdown. See what he does. I think always going to Raw and just kill everybody on Raw. Royce Keys going to kill everybody on SmackDown. Whether he gets a title or not, I don't know, but and I agree with I forgot who it was in Issa's chat. They said that Hobbs should be Trick Willie's bodyguard. I'm all for that. I don't like the bodyguard type thing because it feels like Diesel and everything. Diesel and Shawn Michaels back in the day. But I probably just do that first. Let it go for about, I say 6 months to maybe a year, most. Then pretty much have Trick turn on Hobbs. Hobbs then beats the crap out of him. And then eventually, in between, he goes on a nice singles run, maybe win the US title. I don't think he's going to go for the world title, but, he'll probably get a couple matches, not win, obviously. And then Oba is just going to destroy everybody. Probably win the world title, maybe from Roman. I hate saying that, because I know, Issa, I'm sorry, but could we see Roman versus Oba at WrestleMania 42 in Saudi Arabia? I hope not, but oh yeah, Roman, by the way, Roman said he's going to main event WrestleMania 43. So you know what that means? 1+ year reign as champ. Because he's going to win it this year at Mania 42 in Vegas, and he's going to hold it all through this year, past the Royal Rumble, past Elimination Chamber, and then we'll see what happens at Saudi Arabia, who he faces. He could face The Rock, which could possibly happen, maybe him and The Rock for the title. It doesn't really need the title, but unless Rock puts that garbage People's title on the line, which is not even a title, and maybe Roman smashes The Rock and to get that belt, and you know what he should do with it? Take a big shit on it. No one knows this belt. Believe that, Anyway, moving on. Alright, so yeah, Shinsuke gets the loss and, whatever. Match 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, then we go to back with Fraxium, A-Kid, and Ben Frazier. They run into the, hey, this still work here? Motor City Machine Guns, who are on main event. Wow. So, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, talking to Fraxium, who then run into Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. They still work here? Gargano's laying face down on a crate labeled NXT. Oh, does that mean he's getting shipped back down to NXT? So his buddy Ciampa goes to AEW after his contract ends. He's like, I'm not staying here. I'm going to AEW, win the TNT title from Mark Briscoe, and I'm gonna rub it in Hunter's face. And what's the punishment for Gargano? You go down to NXT with Candice. And then pretty much your next stop is the unemployment line. But you can go to AEW and join, and we have a DIY reunion. Honestly, they will not be called DIY. I don't think they can. No, they can, I don't think, because I would assume that if Gargano goes to AEW with Candice, they can't trademark the way, and they can't. WWE would trademark the way. They would trademark Johnny. Well, I don't know about Johnny Wrestling, but they would trademark his gimmicks and stuff like that. So they would trademark DIY too. So anyway, Johnny Gargano's lying down face down on a crate labeled NXT. And then the Machine Guns won't talk to him because they don't like being lied to. Basically, from like a year ago when the Guns came in and pretty much lost the titles to then it was Solo and Jacob, thanks to Gargano turning on them. So we got that. Alright, so 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Let me move on. Alright, we got it back with Mommy Rhea Ripley and Io. They're ready to keep the women's tag team titles and get ready for the Chamber. And then Nia, Jax, and Lash Legend get shit done. They come in, talk some shit, tease a challenge, which we find out next week. Get another title match. So title match after title match after title match for Rhea and Io to defend. So we'll see what happens next week as they defend the belts against Nia, My Hulk, Jax, and Lash Legend. And that's it. And then Judgment Day comes in. Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. I'm surprised there's still a team. They get in between them and they go to the ring. So you still got Judgment Day to worry about. Whether it be Liv and Raquel, Liv and Roxy and Raquel. So they're still in the mix. So we got all that. Alright, so I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright. Moving along. Alright, we stay in the back with Kit Will's son, who's surprisingly still alive after he got destroyed by Oba. He runs into Matt fucking Cardona, blames him for bringing back the toxic masculinity. You are toxic! So Matt fucking Cardona is ready to fight him anywhere, anytime, but Kit Wilson says, I need a warm bath. Okay. And then, out of nowhere, Apollo Crews, he still works here? We see him in a rare cameo and finds this hilarious. Oh, God. They're bringing people out of the woodwork now. Apollo Crews? They got him out of Titus Catering? What is he doing here? Titus doesn't even work in catering anymore. He's gone. Now it's just run by Apollo Crews. We just haven't seen him. Oh boy. Apollo Crews, dude? Holy shit. I thought they released that guy. You still work here, dude? Was it been like over like almost 2 years since we last saw Apollo? Jeez. We move on with that. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Quick side note. We heard that Big E officially retired from the ring because of his neck issues, which are not getting any better. So, unfortunately, he has to retire. But a lot of people saying that he could be the next GM of NXT. People saying Paige. I would go with Big E because he doesn't have to do much. Just stand there and go, oh, you know. As long as he doesn't say, War Games! It'll be fine. Alright, we get that. So sad to hear about Big E never gonna wrestle again. For now, I mean, you know, he's retired, but you know, people don't never retire. There was a rumor that Ric Flair, oh Jesus Christ, Ric Flair, 74, 75-year-old Ric Flair wants to have another fucking match. Another one final match. What are we doing here? Ric Flair thinks he's Terry Funk. He'll come out of retirement 55 million times. Right, Terry? How many times you come out of retirement? I'll never retire because I was a hardcore legend in Japan. Japan, #1. Forever. Not ever. Okay, Terry, go to bed. Anyway. So yeah, Ric Flair might have another match. Why? I guess Ric Flair wants to go until he's like 80, and then he breaks his leg or breaks his hip. And then pretty much is like a paraplegic, and, you know, with his heart problems and with, I mean, all the other shit he's been through, being on and off in the hospital and on and off sick, like get real sick at some points. I think, you know, Rick, just stay to doing CarMax commercials or whatever commercials you're doing. Or what, you know, selling alcohol. I don't know what he's doing lately. I don't care. But he's still the Nature Boy! Woo! We got that. But anyway, Apollo Crews sighting. Okay. Alright, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, Nicholas Aldis brings in Liv Morgan with Raquel Rodriguez for a little chitty chat. Liv brags about being really great at the Royal Rumble, as well as the hottest, yes. Smartest, yes. Funniest, yes. Most charismatic, most talented, and most iconic woman. That's a mouthful, that's what she said. Most iconic woman in WWE history. But, anyway, Liv has a decision to make between Jade and Stephanie Ricora. So, we're gonna have that in the ring. Actually, we had that in the ring. And then, speaking of Jade, Cargill, the Smackdown Women's Champion, she comes out, says, if you pick me, I'm gonna beat your ass so bad. And then, and he goes, by the way, what are you looking at? And he looks like Raquel. Oh, give me Raquel and Jade. I go for that. Liv starts laughing and says, you need to tone it down and you need to watch what you say because you will get your ass kicked by Raquel. So, yeah, so Liv's like, you need to watch what you say because I can have Raquel take the title from you and we can be double champions at WrestleMania. After it be Stephanie Ricora. And then Big Mama Punk Jordan Grace comes out, says, I might take the title as well, and Liv's like, ha 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 ha! And Jade and Jordan cut her off, and then Nicholas Aldis says, Liv, if you're here to talk, you can fight, so we get a tag team match come out of this, great, a Teddy Long special, Because if they don't go to a tag team match, they're gonna go one-on-one with The Undertaker. Alright, so the segment I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. The match, not so good, Al. Big old brawl to start. Judgment Day gets cleared out. Go to break. Come back. Raquel power slams Jordan Grace. Hits some forearms to the titties. And then Liv comes in. Tries the Eddie Guerrero. 3 amigos. With the third getting blocked. She tried to do you and your son, essay. At least she tried it. Okay. I love that little girl. Oh, I bet you do. Well, anybody that loves my son is a winner in my book. Okay. Does that apply to Mommy Rhea Ripley? She was okay, but then Liv came in and took Dom from her, and Dom, I mean, what can you do? They say Dom wanted those lumptious tatas, you know what I mean, by Bello. Okay. Hey, I mean, if I had to choose between Mommy Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, I take both. Oh, you're a crazy man! Ha! Oh, shut up, Eddie. I would say both of them. At the same time! But I digress. Alright, anyway. Mission Driver looks set up beast mode. But Liv escapes with a code breaker. Jade comes in and accidentally kicks Jordan down. Raquel kicks Liv down as well. Oops. And then we finally get the Raquel-Jade showdown. Everybody's going nuts. But that didn't last long as Jordan Grace comes back in, knocks Jade down, steals a fruit roll-up pin on Raquel, 1, 2, 3 in over 8 minutes. Match was really sloppy. And I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, then we get a look at Papucho Drew McIntyre beating Sami Zayn to retain the Undisputed title at the Rumble in Saudi Arabia. That's Sami Zayn's home country, which did not sit well with the hometown crowd. That's that. Speaking of Sami, he comes in, he comes to the back. He's all oppressed. Runs into, I thought it was Ray Phoenix for a second, but that guy named Dragon Lee says, and he calls him, "Oh, ese, Sami, ese, you're a big inspiration, ese, pero." Really? Okay. And then, thankfully, Trick Willie Shamoun, he comes in, mocks Sami, says, you drop the ball every time you're in a big match, you drop the ball, you can't score, unlike me, as I win big matches, you can't win shit. And then Dragon Lee steps to Tricks and tells him to shut up or get his teeth knocked down his throat. Oh, really? You with your creepy render it's gonna knock Tricks' teeth down his throat? Right. I think you've been, drinking too much sangria there, dude. Tranquilo, take it easy, ese. Idiot. And we get that. And we move on. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright. Then we see Jordan Grace and Jade arguing in the back. Jordan's nudging her, nudging Jade's titties, and Jade's like that. They're not fighting, like fisticuffs. And then Nick Aldis comes in and says, "Hey, congrats on the win, but Jade, next week you're going to defend your title against this woman, that's Jordan Grace." And she's like, "Oh, fuck." Alright, so we got that next week. So we got a pretty stacked episode next week. We got Jade versus Jordan for the Smackdown Women's title. We got Mommy Rhea Ripley and Io defending against Nia Jax and Lash Legend for the Women's Tag Team titles. We got qualifying matches for the Men's and Women's Chamber. We got a lot of shit next week. So, Hunter being the so-called creative genius that he is, putting out a pretty decent card for next week. And we'll see what happens with that on Sci-Fi. That's that. Alright, I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get a look back at Monday Night Raw with the epic segment with Roman basically destroying that bitch Phil Brooks. Setting up their title match at Night 2 of Mania. Yeah, so we see that awesomeness again. Yay! And you see me too? Oh no, Mike. Go to bed. It's 3... it's late. Yeah, but you said awesomeness! Oh, shit! Yeah. Exactly, Mike. But anyway, say goodnight, Mike. Good night, Mike! Bye! Okay. When I call you, you come next time, okay? Okay, I'm sorry! Damn it! Okay. I'm sorry, he just comes out of the woodwork. Anyway, so we got that, and we move on. Alright, then after that, we go to a third try for Drew McIntyre. He manages to get on the announcer table, so he came out spontaneously for the third time. Gets on the announcer table, says, I got something to say, and I'm gonna say it, damn it! So nobody better interrupt me. He says, first of all, Cody and Jacob should be banned from the Elimination Chamber qualifying matches after attacking him, you think? And as for you, Sammy, you got crushed just like everyone who was coming after my belt. And then he's like, as for you, Roman and Phil, I was disappointed in your segment on Raw. Came off as two people being insecure. One of them would mock the other, would mock him. The other would defend him. He's talking about aura forming and talking about fragile Phil Brooks. Wow, I like that line. And he says I got an entire roster, declaring war on me. But I didn't walk away when the world shut down to the pandemic era, WrestleMania 36, anyone. He made the WWE title just like Austin, Hogan, not Dusty Rhodes. Ooh, we meant Cody, not Dusty. Well, yeah. Cody, not Dusty. Wow. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and more. He gets why Roman picked Punk, because it was either facing a Scottish Warrior, 280 pounds, or a tattooed freak like Fragile Phil was one loss away from losing it. Damn. And that leaves the entire roster on Smackdown fighting to get a title shot. And then his music ends, and that was pretty much it. And then Trick Willie Shawn, he comes out as he's going to be watching the main event. So him and Papucho get into a nice little tussle, not a tussle, but a nice little shouting match. Trick says, I'm going to watch the main event, get ready to take the title from you at WrestleMania. Well, you got to qualify first and win the chamber, there, Trick. And McIntyre's like, yeah, I'm not impressed, dude. And then he just walks away. So I'm like, would it be nice to have Trick Willie and Papucho Drew McIntyre at Mania? I go with that. Sign me up for that. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, 3 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we get a rundown of next week's card on Sci-Fi. And that's that. Alright, we go to back where we see Solo Mibuki. He's looking for the MFTs. Can't find them. And then we get glitches of the Wyatt 6 logo. And he still can't find the MFTs, but he takes the lantern and goes to the ring. And you know what happened. The rest of the Wyatt 6 attacked the MFTs. Obviously. Alright, so 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Then we go to your main event. Men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Solo versus Randy versus Aleister Black. With Zelina Vega at ringside. Decent match. A little over 16.5 minutes. They missed big shots to start. Solo gets sent to the outside. Randy gets tripped down, and Aleister knocks Solo off the apron, setting up a middle rope moonsault as we go to break. Come back. Aleister is still in control, working on Solo's leg. Randy is back in for the save. Aleister gets sent to the outside. Solo punches Randy now by a pop-up Samoan drop for a near fall. Nice. On Aleister Black. We go to another break. We come back. Randy with a superplex on Aleister Black. But then Solo, which you rarely see him do this, Superfly splashes Randy for a near fall. Randy then takes Solo to the outside, drops him not once, but twice on the announcer's table, still didn't break. I am the table! And then Aleister Black, you want some? You got some too? So we get that. Still, the table didn't break. I mean, what is that thing made of? Steel? Anyway, so Randy then hits the Hangman's DDT on Solo. Aleister Black kicks Randy in the face. But then Solo sends Aleister Black to the outside. Those are the Samoan spike, but you see Randy, if you notice, Randy was like by the ropes and he's talking. I think he was saying, not yet, not yet, not yet. I think he called a spot. So Solo was waiting for Randy to get up to hit the Samoan spike, and then Randy just kind of looked behind to see if Solo was up. Bang! Gilly cutter. 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton goes to the chamber. He's the first participant. And we get that. Decent match, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then after the show, actually after the match, Randy goes on the ropes and poses as we go to black. And that's pretty much it. So all in all, not a bad SmackDown. Could have been a little bit better. But I gave it pretty much a standard, right down, not down the middle of that, but pretty standard par for the course. 7 out of 10 stars. But let me know what you guys thought of the show down below in the comment section. Leave your thoughts and comments, but don't be stupid comments, because I'm not going to read it, and you're going to get blocked. You don't like it? Tough shit. But leave your comments down below, and like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright guys, I am out of here. I'm going to go take I'm going to go to bed. Tomorrow, we will talk about TNA Impact Wrestling. We will talk about Ring of Honor. And, what else we got to talk about? TNA Ring of Honor tomorrow in separate videos. I do have a rant to do tomorrow about, this stupid-ass fuck podcaster condoning what Chris Benoit did to his family. He's condoning that? Why would you condone that? What's wrong with you? Ow. So I'm gonna rip that guy apart. And anybody else who condones that shit, I'm gonna rip you apart too. So, big old rant tomorrow about that little situation. And then Sunday, we're going to talk about Collision, and we're going to talk about the Super Bowl predictions on episode 104 of the Shadow Slayer 2.0 series. So we got that. I might do an extra video after the Super Bowl with my reaction to Bad Bunny's performance. I may or may not. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. But I'm just going to have fun watch the game, of course, but get ready for the halftime show with Bad Bunny, maybe some surprises. Who? Don't know. And we got that, but it should be way better than that schmuck Kendrick Lamar's garbage performance last year. And we got that. And then we got next year. Don't know. I gotta make a joke that Sabrina Carpenter's gonna be there next year doing it. Because you would hate to have Taylor Swift do it, because you know I know people are like, oh, Taylor's gonna be at the halftime show. She's gonna get way more views than Bad Bunny. Possibly, but nobody will care. She'll get more than Kendrick, though. That's a fact. But we need rock acts. I know Kid Rock is going to be doing a halftime show pretty much at the same time, but not in the stadium. He's going to do it like outside or somewhere else. Green Day is going to be performing the day before. Actually, performing tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. They should be doing, before kickoff, at least, have a performance from Green Day. And then, about 5 to 6, you do a nice little thing with Green Day, televise that, and at 6 o'clock, you start the countdown to the Super Bowl. Then you have whoever's doing America the Beautiful or the National Anthem, You do that, then you have the coin toss, then you start the game, and then get Bad Bunny out real quick, and he comes out, kicks a lot of ass for 13 minutes, and then you get back to the second half, and then we're done with the Super Bowl. And then we're gonna be, after the Super Bowl, we got the NFL draft at the end of April, and then after that, 2 months, pretty much 3 months after that, we got training camp, and then we're gonna be got the Hall of Fame game. We got the start of preseason. Then September, right after I think it's September the 10th. Because Labor Day is September the 7th, I believe, this year, because it's a little bit late. So we got the start of the 2026-27 season on that Thursday, and then the Niners will play, I think September the 14th, something like that. Speaking of the Niners, they're going to be in Melbourne, Australia. I mentioned it before, taking on the Rams at some cricket stadium. Whether that is televised on Fox or CBS, then again, it'll probably be on, I'm hoping to be on Amazon Prime, and not the NFL Network. I mean, I have the NFL Network, but do I want to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning to see it? I probably will, and then go back to sleep after the Niners wallop the fucking Rams, hopefully. We'll see, but yeah. So, Niners going international next year. For the first time in a while. I think ever since they did the, I have to check that, but I think it's the first time that the Niners are going international. Because I don't remember them having a London game or a Germany game. I think they played in Mexico once. Yeah, they played in Mexico, I think. So, not so international. It's Mexico, but they're going down under. Sometime next year. That should be fun. So early morning football from Australia. But I think we get that on tape delay here in the States. It's like 6 to 8 a.m. So it'll feel like we're watching New Japan. So, but it is what it is, and that's that. Alright guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. I'll be back tomorrow, probably sometime tomorrow afternoon, with your TNA Impact Wrestling on AMC episode 4 review. And then we'll go right into Ring of Honor. And then tomorrow night, really nothing tomorrow night to watch. I don't think we got it. Besides Collision, of course, that's tape though. So tomorrow night, sometime late tomorrow night, we'll do that. Do the rant about the whole Chris Benoit thing with the podcaster. So we'll talk about that. And anything else comes your way tomorrow, we'll talk about, like Quick Willie would say. And then Sunday, we'll take one more sip, because I'm going to lose my voice. So, Sunday, we'll talk about the Super Bowl predictions, and we'll talk about Collision. And then we'll watch the Super Bowl and have fun, eat, and whatever we got to do. And then, like I said, maybe I'll do a mini reaction to Bad Bunny's performance, and then that'll be it. And then we start the second week of February with Monday Night Raw. And then we're just gonna be quick or in and out like my dick in your mom's ass. With this month, we got the Elimination Chamber coming up 3 weeks from this video being uploaded. The 28th, we got No Surrender on Friday the 13th of all days. Friday the 13th. And then we get March coming in. We got NXT, Vengeance Day. We got Revolution March 15th. I think Vengeance Day is March 7th or 8th. So we have to check. Let's see what happens with that. After Elimination Chamber, we got NXT coming up. We got Revolution on the 15th. I think we have another TNA event in March. We go all through March, and then we get to April. We got baseball coming up at the end of March. We got the World Baseball Classic as well. March Madness, and then And then April, it's WrestleMania time. With WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. The week before, April the 12th, we got Dynasty for AEW. I don't think maybe, I don't know if they're doing it, but Supercard maybe. And then I think we got another TNA event during WrestleMania weekend. And a whole bunch more in Vegas. And all that shit as we go into May. And then May, at the beginning of May, we're going to Tampa for Backlash. Should be in Puerto Rico, Paul. But maybe Puerto Rico gets something later this year. I don't know. I hope for Easter's sake, but Easter will be at WrestleMania. I don't know about the Elimination Chamber, but yeah. So the big timers are going to WrestleMania. I'd go if I had the money to go. It's not the money to go, and for like a couple of days down in Vegas or wherever Mania is. If it was in New York, with not so much MetLife Stadium, because I can just get there and back easy. Just as long as it doesn't go to 1 o'clock, Hunter. But the thing is, if I was a journalist doing the going and doing the interviews, the post show, depending, if it starts at 6, I would assume it's going to end at 10-ish, and then I don't depends on when the scrum starts, and I get my questions in, and then it ends like 10:30 at most 11. If it ends at like 11, maybe at most 11:30, I could still get on the train, the New Jersey Transit train, get to New York City. Because if not, I'm gonna be stuck. I might be stuck in freaking New Jersey, which will not be fun. Especially that at late at night after you don't get the train by 1 o'clock, you're fucked. But if they get the scrum done early, like around 11, close to midnight, I can probably either get a ride home from somebody who's going into New York or get an Uber maybe. It's going to take a long time to get an Uber, but we'll see. But, someday, maybe someday, maybe not, but I would love to go to, like, Mania and go to the scrum, not go to Mania, of course, but sit in the press box, hang out, eat, get free food, because you sit in a VIP box, you get treated like a VIP, very important, Peter, and, eat some good food, get a couple good sodas, maybe a beer, I don't know, but, you get to watch Mania, you get there early, do all the good stuff, that day, night 1 or night 2, and then you just hang out. You get there early, you show your VIP pass, you maybe meet the wrestlers here and there, and then go down to the ring, take some pictures, and then get your ass up to the VIP section, and then watch Mania, and then go get your ass down to the VIP scrum area, stay there for a little bit, and try to get your question in maybe, you get lucky, you get a viral moment, and then you go home. Whether you're going home with someone or you're going home by yourself. But I know East has been at many WrestleManias, and everybody else that goes, they have a great time. Whether it be for, from Wednesday through Monday, and they come back out on Tuesday or Wednesday. Depending on where you live, East lives in Puerto Rico, so, when she went to Vegas last year, it took her like 2 days to get back. Because she stayed there from like Wednesday to Raw on Monday, and then came back pretty much, I think, Tuesday night. And then we didn't see her for like a week. So, but if WrestleMania was in Orlando, goes right to Orlando, comes right back. It stays a couple days and then comes right back, like Monday night, or maybe stays for Monday Night Raw, comes back Tuesday. whatever you want to do, you have fun at Mania as a reporter, journalist, whatever you want to call it, with the scrums, and if you even stay, you get access, all this shit, the kickoff show, and all that other good stuff. But Mania's going to be a good time in Vegas again in April. And then next year we're going to the Land of Sand. I still don't like going to Saudi Arabia next year. I don't like it. I know we're gonna get it probably like at between 12 and 2 here in the East Coast, so at least we get it early WrestleMania, and then we have a lunch, and then we take a nap after that, and then have dinner later. But we got that. But at least next year's Royal Rumble is gonna be in the States, supposedly. Where? Don't know. I assume it's going to be somewhere maybe on the West Coast, or it's going to be maybe on the East Coast, like in Indy, maybe Chicago. I doubt New York, but you never know. Depending on where in New York, and I don't know about Madison Square Garden or the Barclays Center. They can't do it outside, because it's, winter time. So, I know I think there's, that's, I don't think it's the Red Bull Stadium. I know there's another stadium that I think is being built in, I think it's in New Jersey or New York. It's not the Red Bulls. I think it's the other soccer team. They have a mini dome, but you could maybe do that. But if you want to have the Rumble in the Northeast, you gotta do it somewhere that either one has a dome, two in January, mind you, at the end of January or maybe February. Or you do it at Madison Square Garden or the Barclays Center. You do it at the National Mausoleum. And you can also do it, you can do it in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, MSG, the National Mausoleum, or at The Rock in Jersey. So, we'll see what happens to that. Alright, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that's it. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. Once again, 7 out of 10 stars for Smackdown, and that's pretty much it. Alright, guys, see you tomorrow. Until next time, peace, bitches.